My name is Dylan. This is the Whiskey House Pub House, and we have to restart our episode. With us today is Zach.
Yo, what's
your
up, everyone?
co-host. We got Carter,
Yo,
the other co-host.
what's up?
And
No need to rush things, Dylan. We are in a happy place.
we're out on the
This
roll.
is a beautiful venue.
We're paying so much for this recording
This
studio,
recording studio
that we're
we have.
in,
Yeah.
definitely. That's why it
why-
sounds echoey.
Yeah.
Stop! I'm trying to do something.
Oh my goodness, guys. Yeah, so this is probably what, like 20 minutes into that first one?
Yeah, probably.
At least. Yeah.
Because I trusted a certain someone.
No, you trusted him, which was fine, and then you used an Apple charger, an Apple brick to
That
supply
is-
the power
that is valid.
to our mixer.
I'm sorry. I want I apologize.
No,
Forgive
it's-
me, Sensei.
No, it's
Bow to your sensei.
I mean, if an audio engineer saw our setup, he'd be crying right now. I mean, it's a power strip plugged with an Apple brick with a generic micro USB
Plugged into an extension cord.
Plugged into an extension cord. A mobile mixer with 3 XLRs that are not curled, wrapped, or in any way,
And a folding table.
and on a folding table
Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen
with
some.
liquid on said table.
I've seen some pretty jank setups.
And Carter's not wearing a shirt.
My nipples are out.
It's summertime here in Minnesota. You know what that means.
I'm letting it all hang out.
What are we discussing today, Dylan?
Well, we had a request from a listener to do a review on some budget-oriented whiskeys, specifically Islay single malts. And we have gathered together I would say a respectable flight of whiskeys.
We do bourbon so much.
I know.
Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah,
Bourbon.
it does. It does.
Those are a fun word to say.
Bourbon. But we have a nice range of selections for Islay single malts, ranging in price, as well as some surprising
Proof.
alcohol ranges.
Alcoholic range.
I'm tired.
That's a name for an album right
Proofing.
there.
Help me.
Help me. We got this. We got you, Dylan.
But I kind of I had to twist your guys' wrist to get you on board to do this.
Yeah, because it's our least
Definitely.
favorite whiskey of all. You
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
Islay Scotch. Ugh.
Terrible.
It's
Gross.
trash.
Who likes that? It just smells
Yep.
like ashtrays and
Yep.
coastal sea waters.
Well, and
Delicious.
you're correct. And that's why I love it. You can't even say it ironically.
I
'Cause
can't.
the only and to be honest, the only ashtray I've ever not liked are the ones that are outside, the ones that never get cleaned.
The only ashtrays you don't
Don't
like?
Yeah.
What do you
Ew.
you have ashtrays you like? I'm
Yeah,
just
that's what I'm
Sniffing
saying.
ashtrays?
Yeah, when you're outside a bar and people are just smoking like crazy, they're chaining and they're dropping it into the tray.
right.
That's not a bad smell. I think that's freshly smoked tobacco.
Why does everybody
think
think
smells good.
cigarettes smell good? I think they're the nastiest thing ever.
No, because they're old. Old cigarette butts are just disgusting.
No, I mean fresh cigarette. I think it's the nastiest smell.
Well, that's good for you.
It's so gross. I would never smoke a cigarette in my life.
I'm just imagining somebody having a bathroom candle that smells like it's like
Yankee
It's not It's
bathroom
not the
candle.
smell of tobacco. It's the smell of cigarette.
Chemicals. And,
Specifically,
Yeah.
the crap American cigarettes that are
Yeah.
full of tar and other
I guess to me,
garbage.
it just reminds me of small town bars and old. Okay, here's actually what it
is
reminds
it
me of.
Perkins? Are you gonna say Perkins?
No, McDonald's.
What?
Because
I don't remember
when I
that.
was a kid, the Chaska McDonald's, it's still there. It's just it has so many smoking employees.
Oh, they
Right.
just all smell like
Everyone
cigarettes.
smoked, and you'd walk in, and then the ashtray was right in front of the front door.
Mhm.
So right before you get your Happy Meal, you had to smell.
Smoke a chain.
Yeah. So
Zach's mind has been polluted by.
I mean,
Physically and mentally.
I've been brainwashed. I'm just saying, but
I love the Marlboro, man.
Look
There,
at-
I said it.
hey, Drink the Kool-Aid once in a while,
He
guys.
looked
It's not
cool.
so
The
bad.
American Spirit Man is cool too.
Yeah.
That, looking back on that must have been a big change for people. Like getting rid of the indoor smoking sections.
Yeah.
Just period.
Yep.
I lived through it, but I wasn't that old.
Yeah.
Like it didn't really occur to me what was happening.
Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting to look back on, I guess.
Mhm.
Because the biggest memory I have was like going into Perkins in like Shakopee.
Mhm.
And to me, I thought there was a room in there that we never got to go and sit in, and it was a smoking area.
Mhm.
And I didn't know that, but they had like a taxidermied deer
Yeah.
head.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I want to go see that.
Like
thing.
that's
It
the
looks
lounge.
Sweet. And
Yeah.
they had,
That's where adults hang out.
because it was kind of like cabin-y for some reason. It was set up like a cabin.
Yep.
And I'm like, man, I want to go eat my pancakes in that room.
Mhm.
I want to go put my.
See, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm gonna
Like,
put my
it's-
cigarettes.
It's not.
out on
It's
my
not just the
pancakes.
cig. It's the environment that the cig represents.
So when it's -30 outside and you're hankering for a cigarette, you can go.
Well,
and-
that's what now is. Back
Mhm.
then, you got to sit inside.
Yeah.
But now you can't.
Force you.
Anyways.
Well,
so how do we
back
want
to
to
the
go
liquor.
about this? Because right now we have what our second selection is.
Mhm.
And we completely reviewed our first one, and it was lost to the ether.
Maybe you should remain lost to the ether.
We don't want to highlight our cheap, our most
cheapest,
affordable.
our most budget.
Just
No,
completely
you're
dismiss it.
right. No. It'd be funny if we did though.
I mean, we can.
just do a
We
quick.
don't have to taste it. We
just-
could say we're tasting it, and we can just recap.
quick overview. Just a quick overview.
Yeah.
We all remember.
So let's imagine we have it right now.
Yeah, please insert that classic harp string of someone going into a dream.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
I lost my identity.
So let's just recap this. So this whiskey is depending on pronunciation, but because I am pronouncing, it is Shield Egg, single malt Scotch whiskey. It's the Islay edition. There's a couple different ones. I think they have all
Yeah,
the
every
regions,
region.
including they count the islands as one.
Hmm.
I think Zach, you and I were talking about that you probably got the Highland version of this for the $20 challenge a
Yes.
while ago.
And I didn't like it. So I'm really hoping that the Islay version is a big step up. That by adding a little bit of smoke, it can trick me.
Let's try it again. Whoa. Glug, glug, glug.
Wow, that was good.
Oh my goodness,
Here,
man.
Carter, I'll give you some.
Okay, glug 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 glug.
And then myself.
Glug 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 glug.
Ah, yes.
Mm.
Whiskey.
All right, fine. I'll be serious. It had a really fragrant smell, very delicate,
Right.
and
Gentle.
it smelled like sweet smoke, I guess. I don't,
Yeah. I mean, it had it has a vibrant freshness to it.
yeah.
Uh,
Little ashy.
I think we talked. We were like,
Tasted
what
ashy.
what distilleries could it have been?
Yep.
Because you don't know. It's a non-producer brand sourcing. It gave us Kalila, maybe Ardbeg vibes. Probably Kalila. After trying it, it was very ashy.
hmm
It was sweet up front, and then turned into an ashiness, and then ended kind of watery.
Mm-hmm.
Not too bad. The price on this was $25. I don't know if we mentioned that yet.
I think we did. Oh wait, no. 4.
This is pretty much the cheapest Islay Scotch I think that we can get in our area.
For sure.
And that being said,
Not bad.
I think it's pretty darn respectable.
hmm
Just wouldn't pair it with anything.
That is,
You just said you would pair it with cheesecake.
yeah.
No, other than the cheesecake, I wouldn't pair it with any other food.
This is a great one to make a highball with. on a lazy afternoon.
Okay.
For sure. Because it's got all the core functions of what you would want out of a Scotch.
It does. I mean, what's your guys' thought as far as like when you're looking at the regions of Scotch? I feel like Islay, maybe the islands, like even if you're in the budget range, they're just going to be, compared to the other ones, really solid. Because it's got that element to it that it's known for, that smoky boldness. And pretty much no matter where you go, as far as the budget and the price range, that's kind of going to be there still. So it's like, if that's something you like, then you're kind of in luck because it's pretty much in every...
It's always got something going for it.
Right. So that's my thought. I don't know if you guys have anything else to add as far as the shield egg.
So I don't want to eat
just
it with
that
cheesecake.
I hope our listener lives somewhere close to a Total Wine.
Did we say who? I don't think we said who.
We said it was from
a
Dayton,
listener.
Ohio.
Oh yeah, first name Dayton, last name
Ohio.
Anonymous.
The one.
I think it was a good suggestion because we're wrapping up $30 not too long ago Scotch challenge. We're doing this one differently. We're not going to do blind just so we can have a broader range. And just kind of curious to see what everyone brought. So
should we move on to the next one, perhaps?
I think we should.
And what is that?
So the next one I have with me is another. It's a non-distillery product release, so it's another produced by
marketing scheme, Ponzi,
sham.
boy.
Pyramid scheme.
Money grab. It's got a picture of a distillery on it that's called Distillery.
Yo,
that's my favorite.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I also work at Work. You guys ever heard of Work?
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Work
at Work. Right next to Job.
Job?
Yeah. Well, no, it's a work job, but
Oh,
I'm at work at that job.
you mean like Bob Loblaw?
You've lost it, my man.
You guys don't get it.
No, I don't.
You're out of touch.
I'm out of time. But you're not in my head when you're not around.
That's what I was thinking, but I couldn't remember the other lines. This is produced by Hunter Lang. This is called the Islay Journey blended malt Scotch whiskey. So this is multiple. I thought we all got single malts, and I guess I didn't even realize that I bought a blended malt.
How could you?
I don't know.
Stupid.
But these are also, this brand also has different selections. Highland, I think there was an Islay or Island.
Yeah.
Too. This price was.
No, we could have literally read it right on the box.
It is $35. We've jumped $10. This is 46%.
Yeah. So this is the blended version of what. So I have the other Hunter Lang single malts.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, that's what Scrabus is.
Really?
That's another Hunter Lang product.
Oh, and that one's a single malt, though,
It
right?
is a single malt.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
So that makes me intrigued what this is going to taste like.
This one's even lighter than the Shield Egg. So I'm wondering if they just didn't add coloring and maybe the Shield Egg did.
Yeah, it also smells lighter.
It just kind of looks
You're
like
right.
super
pea.
weak.
I wonder if this one's going to be less peaty, actually, and it's going to have more like Bowmore. Because Bowmore is
Sure.
not super smoky.
Right.
Definitely doesn't have the same.
How would you guys describe the smell? Because I can't it just smells damp.
Still think it
Like
looks
wet moss.
kind of
Have
smells
you
like
so-
pea.
When you were in school, back when I was learning things and not just forgetting, if you were cool, you had a really big pack of crayons.
Right.
You mean the one with the pencil sharpener on the back?
That no one was that cool.
Oh, I was that cool.
No one had that much money, to be honest. And this to me, it's like you're opening that box and it's got that
It
paper
smells
cardboard
Sure.
waxy.
note to it, but it's also got the wax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know what you're talking about. A little bit.
Dude, that like hits me like
It doesn't smell waxy enough. But I totally get it. Smells like wet paper for sure. And
Yeah.
that super fibrous cardboardy textured paper.
That hits me like right in the like nostalgia, just like.
Well, of course, we always had, it was the same container too. It was that plastic tub with the colored top.
Oh, that
The
too.
Crayola.
Yeah.
The dimpled, it had dimpled covers.
Oh,
And then you'd, I mean, this is optional, but you just sticker the thing up and
heck yeah.
yeah, we all had the same one.
Yep.
So I'm not a big fan so far. Just
No,
of
no, no.
the smell.
No.
So I'm gonna drink it and hope I become one.
Agreed. It lingers more. Huh. I wonder how it...
You can taste. At first, I wasn't gonna say this, but you can taste that 6% increase.
Yeah.
In ABV. It is not. It's not packing a punch anywhere.
It's sweeter in the front, and then it doesn't really like... It doesn't climb up and then drop down, like drop off as far as like the flavor, nor like the sharpness, like alcohol-wise. It's a constant that starts with sweetness, transitions into a smoke, but it's not the ashiness we had from the first one. And then it kind of just starts fading out. But it lingers more.
To me, it's just kind of like it's like a lightly caramelized onion. That's kind of where I'm at. Because it doesn't have that sharp flavor of a raw onion. But it's sweet and it has this tart, it's got this tart flavor right in the middle.
Yeah.
It makes you pucker your lips a little bit. I don't like it as much. Shield egg is still better.
I think it was better.
I think I like the chilled egg for the harshness of the smoke more.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Strange.
I think overall the body is better on this, but it's not
It's got
overall.
more of a story to tell, but it's not a good story.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think I like the shield egg body more.
Okay. Yeah, to me the only thing I dislike from the shield egg is the watery finish on it.
Yeah, that's not great. I do enjoy how this kind of sticks on your tongue a little bit more. So that's going for it.
Yeah, I think save the $10 and get the shield egg.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not bad. Let's think about this. It is
Arguably, it's
$35.
Arguably, it's not bad.
I think I was about to say I think I would take this over my pick for the $30 Scotch that I had purchased, the Grangestone Highland.
Yeah, that wasn't very good.
But you know what? I think I would rather have the Highland Grangestone than this.
Really?
Now that I'm thinking about it. It doesn't, there's no drama to this. Like a non-Islay drinker would definitely get drama off of this. But even compared to the $25 chilled egg, the drama is just not there. And if I'm drinking Islay, my personal thought is like, I just want that drama from it.
I love these adjectives we're using for flavor.
I needed to be
And
drama
body.
for your mama.
Yeah, but no, you're right. It's missing a profile. It's missing character. It's bland. Yeah, boring.
Yeah, bang.
We should move on.
I'm excited for this
Oh,
next
we're
one.
gonna
I
move
kind
on.
of I liked the box of this. And
It's possibly the cheapest box I have ever seen out of any whiskey that has provided a box.
box like that specifically though.
I guess,
it's
sorry, before we do this one,
Yes.
this is over 50, right?
Oh, I'm missing.
The Wee Beastie.
You're right. Thank you, Zach. The suspense.
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna wait. I'm not gonna say what this is. Then
Yeah.
we'll put it back and we'll do the Wee Beastie. I think.
Are we doing that by
Proof.
I think we'll do it by proof.
not by
And
price?
I think technically, the Wee Beastie might be cheaper.
That's $41.99.
and that
or-
was
or
45,
$42.99.
right?
That one's 46. He said
47.
47.
Um.
So we're still following the price.
Yep.
And proof rule.
Technically.
So-
Do you want me to get it? I can get it.
Yes, please. It's
Okay.
just it's in that green bag,
Oh no, where's mine?
or you can use the open one.
Just get mine. It will be okay. It will be okay. Do not be scared.
Yep. Before we drink it, I have a what are the qualities of the Wee Beastie? I have one at home, and it has it's had like literally an ounce left forever. Yeah, the one I have,
been
it's
open for a
it's been
while.
so aerated. And the last time I had it, when it had 2 ounces left,
Whoa.
it was terrible.
Really?
It tasted gross after being just mostly oxygenated for probably 3 or 4 months. So keeping that in mind, this is one you kind of just got to buy on the regular, drink on the regular if you want it to stay good.
Please.
This is brought to us by the same whiskey lords that brought us the Trayvon, the Ugadal, the Corey Reckon,
And the barbecue.
and the Bizarrebecue. But also the same whiskey lords that tricked me into buying an Ardbeg for $230.
So
you got debated.
have you seen the second, like, the resale on those, though?
No.
It's actually decent.
You still have yours, right? Unopened?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Please sell it.
Yeah, you really should.
We're not going to.
Yeah. I was going to save it for a special occasion when we wanted to be disappointed. It's like,
oh my
man,
God, it's the birth
Yeah,
of your first child.
Yeah.
It's disappointment.
Zach's really, he's up in the sky.
He's
on cloud
elated,
nine.
and then he's just like, bring him back down.
Like, I need to bring,
Just-
you know what I need to do for Zach? I need to bring him back down.
Yeah, bachelor party.
I need
You
to bring
gotta
him back down.
destroy this man.
Mhm,
He's way too happy.
mhm.
Wreck his day.
You know what would bring me happiness?
Seeing him just
Yeah.
absolutely defeated.
It's a force that can be taken away. But Wee Beastie, I've always had a soft spot for. This was always good. Such a good move on the part of Ardbeg. And at a time, this is an unsung hero of when we needed a value-driven Scotch.
yeah, I
from
remember when
Islay.
we first found this.
Because when this came out right away, in my mind,
Was it 2020 this came out?
yeah,
Mhm.
2020.
Yeah.
It came out right before pandemic, right when we needed it.
No.
Yeah. I mean, maybe end of 2019. Maybe
that-
Halloween 2019.
Was that when
This
we
came out around
Was it
Halloween.
actually? I don't know.
Yep.
I can
did
look it up.
our Madison trip?
It would have
That's
been
when we found
close. I mean, that was like April that we did that.
Mhm.
March. Because it was like after lockdowns, and we're like, we're free.
Mhm.
At least I feel like it was.
Sure.
I'm not sure. Anyways, I'm gonna look up when the release on
But yeah, it's always been so good. I love this one so much. And so that for this episode, we all kind of agreed this is the benchmark to compare the rest upon. Which I guess that's not the most fair, because Ardbeg, this is a real smoke monster. I mean, this was kind of engineered to be over the top in one way and one way only.
It's unfair.
It's one dimensional in the best way possible
It's unfair to our preferences.
to cut costs.
To cut costs and also make a bomb whiskey.
It's so good.
It was launched in April 2020.
I thought for sure it was, because I mean, in my mind, it was Halloween time because the naming scheme.
Wee Beastie.
It's got claws on it. And
Wow.
it's a beast.
Yeah. So yeah, around our Madison trip,
Mhm.
which is also like the Wild Turkey Rye came out then too.
Mhm.
I think there was one other thing too that came out, but quite a few things. Plan launched. So I'm actually on the nose getting a little bit more fruit on this, and I do believe that this is partly influenced with sherry on this Wee Beastie, if I'm not mistaken.
You're wrong.
To me, it just smells saltier than the rest. It's a little more seasoned.
It just smells like the ocean and
It's- I guess I don't get
not ocean.
I don't get ocean brine salt. I just mean like this is like a seasoned meat.
It smells like a nice meat. Smells like a nice brisket. I'm just like, I want it. I guess you shouldn't drink whiskey when you're hungry.
I like to because I can eat a lot more, like, and enjoy it. Like, no one pounds a pizza faster than Zach after he's had a couple glasses.
Zach, that's disgusting. You can't do that to a pizza.
Why'd your mother leave me? Bang! Bang! It's not my fault!
Oh, I need to pay attention to those guys more.
Unhinged.
Yeah. I found the distiller review on this. It says the description was launched in April 2020. Wee Beastie is a permanent addition to the core line. It's aged for 5 years in a mix of ex-bourbon and ex Oloroso sherry.
Ooh.
47.4%.
Let's dig in the flavor.
Oh, what is that?
I love that heartburn. Just makes me hate drinking whiskey.
It's like so peppery, like peppercorn.
Dang, that's good. It tastes like pepper.
It has way more. Yeah, from memory, the 10 has less pepper on it than this. What sets the 5 apart is that pepperiness.
Mm.
You said it was, you mentioned before it was one-dimensional, and this is the least one-dimensional so far.
Right. That's because we've only had good. Before we had our Big 5, we've only had good Scotch. We started out cultured, and we've removed ourselves from the graces of good Scotch.
We were a little privileged to have all the good Scotch that we had.
I mean, it's just because whenever you get into something you like, you get good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't become you're going to play sports or something. You play golf. You don't go and buy the cheapest golf clubs you can buy.
Yeah, exactly.
You buy the name brand.
Right.
You get Titleist and only Titleist.
Pro V1s.
And then you get only Pro V1s. And then you only wear Titleist clothes. And that's it. And then you become the Titleist guy.
Supreme.
And then you beat your wife.
And then, what?
What the heck?
I think golf is the least beat your spouse sport.
And then you run your husband over with your truck.
I don't know, maybe.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, seriously. Peppercorn, a little bit of smoke, a little bit of Monica in my life. That's it.
Mambo number 5.
King Juliet.
What was your guys' first Scotch that you remember purchasing?
Log 16.
Log 16.
Yeah.
That was your first one?
Well, I literally had it camping. Then I went home. And then I turned 21. And I bought Log 16.
You bought Log 16 as your first Scotch?
Yeah.
Dang.
Well, it was the only one I knew I liked.
I guess that's true.
At the time. Nothing else I had that I was like, wow.
What is that?
Except for one I liked but didn't like. I wasn't huge on it, but I thought it was good was Glenlivet 12. We always bought Glenlivet 12 because you could get it at warehouse stores for dirt. Like $28 back in the day. And by back in the day, I mean 5 years ago.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but I have to bring this up. Why did you buy a bottle of Crown?
Did you at least get the purple bag? Yeah.
Can I have that for my shift knob?
Yeah, your shift knob, yeah. Well, that's cute.
Can I have it for my shift knob?
Liquor Boy just bought Crown Royal because he had a bag the bag had Vikings on it.
That's so stupid.
Quick story. First time I actually just bought liquor straight up was in Canada because you can buy liquor younger there.
Right.
18, I believe.
I think it depends on the province too, but
sure. But anyway, I was in Ontario, and disappointing purchase. My first whiskey I ever bought was called Gibson. It's a Canadian whiskey, and it was terrible.
I've tried that.
It tastes like it's like you took a caramel and you threw away the wrapper and you picked the wrapper and you put that in a glass of water and distilled that.
Ick.
You get it's a hint of caramel.
So it just tastes like nothing.
And alcohol. Yeah, very disgusting.
So it tastes like nothing and it'll get you drunk, basically.
Kind of. But yeah, that was my first purchase ever. I was 19 and I bought whiskey. I felt so cool walking out of the liquor store.
You're like, hey, Dad,
all baby faced and
bought a bottle.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy how much it's changed? Like as far as like the whiskey in general, like 'cause when I started it was around like 2017.
Mm-hmm.
For you guys, not too much later. But I just feel like COVID was such a catalyst in getting people into spirits of just any kind.
Yeah.
That's just like it completely changed the availability of certain things.
Right.
I think it really pushed a lot of people to get into it, from a business standpoint.
Yeah.
like the amount of brands that came out after COVID, it's like, I don't know if I would say double, but it honestly feels like at times there are double the brands.
It's a worldwide rejuvenation of essentially how they live. You know, after going through something like that, every individual in the world had to like look inside and be like, well, what do I really like to do?
Right.
And the ones that enjoy whiskey or whatever are like, I gotta pursue this. I gotta make this happen.
They're like, who knows? Maybe I'll die the next day.
I don't think it was quite that, but
think about it, ponder it.
I'm tired. I am not quippy enough right now to be able to come up with a response off the top of my head.
Let's be serious.
My thought, I did want to mention, like, as far as the COVID thing, it's like, you know, just looking at Facebook, because it's like the things that COVID helped to push people into, it was alcohol, at like home purchasing alcohol, camping, bicycles, motorcycles, pretty much anything that was outdoors that wasn't like regulated, essentially, that, you know. But it's like now looking on Facebook, the amount of stuff, not even like a one genre or category that is being sold that was all purchased from COVID.
They're just trying to get rid of it.
Well, and it's just like, is it, well, and then you're mixing into, it's like people are worried about like an economy, like a recession. So it's you're mixing in that too.
Yeah.
It's just like the amount of stuff that people are getting rid of again.
Right.
It's kind of interesting. Like cars, super hard to, like, I know you sent Alex a listing for a Toyota, and it's like, that wouldn't have happened a year and a half ago.
No.
But it's kind of, I don't know. It's just something that I wanted to bring up.
That's a good point. No, it's worth bringing up because whiskey is one of those things. It's not, for some, it's like an investment, you know.
Oh,
and they're holding on because they're hoping in the future their bottles will be worth exponentially more than what they paid for.
Oh no, it totally is.
And I've been on. You can go on Forbes. You can go on Bloomberg, and they will all recommend aged spirits as a investment in the same conversation in the same paragraph as your Vanguard investment fund or your 401k/IRA.
It's becoming a legitimate venue.
Stonks, dude. It is all stonks. I don't know who I was talking to, if it was even on the record, like a podcast. It might have been Whiskey Boy, might not have been. But there are investment companies that you can contact that will get a group of people and purchase an amount of barrel stock that is owned by a investment company, and they will literally sit on it. So, I mean, you get that barrel for a few $100s, a couple $100s, even if it's just say $500. Within 3 years, that barrel is now worth thousands of dollars. We're talking in the range of $3,000.
Yeah.
And then you can sell that. And in 6 years, you have, what would that even be? It would be like quintupling or more your initial investment in under or just over a 5-year span.
Yeah.
There's no other market you can do that in.
Right.
Other than the whiskey market currently. And the question is that going to hold?
Bitcoin also.
Bitcoin would have been, but honestly, it's like, what else is there? There isn't. It is Bitcoin and whiskey. Like those are the closest two you can compare, other than like meme stocks, I guess. But
sure.
But as far as like people actually trying to have a long-term investment strategy,
right?
There are whole companies around it, and then you have these barrels in like Wild Turkey, Heaven's Hill or Wilderness Trail that will then buy back those barrels that are sitting in their own warehouse so they can use it. Probably less so. I think it's mostly like Wilderness Trail that is doing some of this. But that's crazy that they have barrels that they produced that are sitting in their warehouse that it's profitable for them to end up buying back
Yeah.
for product.
Yep. It could be a liability thing. Could be a quick cash kind of thing, you know? Because when if you're a distiller, there may be a time you need to go liquid fast to make some payments. And you don't have, despite having literal liquid assets, they are not liquid in a financial way.
Right.
Especially a smaller distillery like Wilderness Trail.
Right.
Oh, no. Wilderness Trail is not small.
Is it not small?
It is
it
already in the same league as the big boys.
Really?
Yes.
Dang, let's go.
Not as far as aged product, but if we're specifically talking about their capacity to produce,
like volume wise,
they are set up for the long haul and they're set up for a volume. They're going to be making money in volume. Wilderness Trail, Bardstown Bourbon, Green Rivers. We have more big distilleries now than we did, 5 years ago, which is a stupid statement because that's like, yeah, okay, duh. But it's like, but the topic that brings up is people are scared of a new whiskey glut, of like their investments just essentially going into free fall.
Yeah,
Because at some point, like we already have enough product now, like Green River, Bardstown Bourbon have started just this year, maybe beginning of next year or last year, releasing their own product to market. So the demand for aged product is, in whiskey terms, pretty rapidly becoming available to get decently aged product on the cheap and easily accessible. And the question is like, at what point is the bubble going to pop?
Yeah. No, see, that is how you control it. A couple planned rick house arsonry, a couple insurance claims.
Oh no, Heaven Hill lit on fire again.
And then you send people, right? Labor, you're distributing labor to people, to these brands that are hurting because of the fire. And then I just winked. And then that's how you control the market and also continue to make money off of insurance.
Right. Well, and the counter argument too is like with all the trade wars, as far as like bourbon and Scotch we're having 4 years ago ish, that has started to reverse. We've seen Scotch prices lower because they want bourbon to grow in Europe and in Asia. I forget what the statistic was, but the biggest whiskey consuming country in the world is, you guys have any guesses?
India.
Yeah, it's India. And
he thought he'd stoop us on that one.
No, I just had a very bad thought.
If like Jack Daniel's right now is the biggest American exporter,
sure,
of whiskey.
Right.
Just I think behind them is Jim Beam. They don't have any capacity to even touch the footprint that Scotch has as far as availability and just the global demand. The demand.
Yeah.
So even with these, the gamble is all these distilleries are coming online, ramping up production. Buffalo Trace double capacity. Heaven Hill, I think, was doing a
they're doing a
upgrade.
Big expansion.
Yeah. Everyone's doing it. Wild Turkey is too, I think.
They finished there.
Okay. So the concern is really, if they don't access that market, then we will have a glut, which to us as a consumer, not that big of a deal. Worst case scenario, we got some nice aged stock available in 10 years that's cheap. Well, we can get Elijah Craig 18 for $50 again or something.
Right.
Sick.
But the more likely thing is possibly, bourbon becomes more of a global product.
Yeah.
Which could drop the price too.
At some point, yeah. But, our trajectory currently would probably just continue. So if we ramp up.
Yep. And then we'll finally switch. I mean, everyone says it like we're going to aged rum.
Poutine.
Poutine?
No, because aged spirits, nothing gets cheaper than rum. I mean, that's just the That's the cheapest crop.
I will say rum is dirt cheap. I saw an
Right.
18-year rum for $30.
Right.
When I was at I 100% agree. When I was at Total Wine, the Balcones rum,
Mm-hmm.
they had it discounted for $38.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cheap.
They're just trying to get. I mean,
They're trying to get rid of it, and the
Right.
funny thing is, it's really good.
it is fantastic.
That is
Yeah.
the funny thing. I think
And-
people just sleep on rum.
Well, I don't know. Ice. We've had it. We did a whole episode on it. We all loved it.
I talked to him about doing another one, but
Yeah.
continue.
What was the last aged rum you guys bought and drank? To completion. Yeah, you drank a bottle
Well,
of
here's
aged
the problem:
rum.
is like the rate I go.
Sure, you got a lot of stuff to go through.
Yeah.
Okay, then tell me, what was the last time you sat down and had your aged rum?
Honestly, the past couple weeks have been mostly like, ooh, I'm gonna have some rum.
Yep.
So I've had the real McCoy.
Hmm.
It's either a 12-year or a 14-year. That is the Prohibition style, so it's 50%,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a Foursquare brand.
Product, yeah.
It's really good. I love it. As far as rum goes, it's expensive. As far as spirits in general, it's not that bad price wise.
Yeah.
And it's good.
All I'm saying is, it's so weird. It's illogical how no one is drinking aged rum for how good it is
Right.
and how cheap it is.
I think everybody just sees it as a mixer.
Perhaps, but we're doing an episode on budget scotches, and
We're drinking them neat.
yeah, we're drinking them neat.
What we should do a budget.
Well, no, that's the problem. Is it
They're all
budget.
every rum,
Like the
aged
most
rum is
expensive
budget.
rum you can get. We're talking
Maybe $100.
no, well, $100. There's some that are more, but it's just like,
Yeah, but those are like really special.
but that's like a 20-year rum,
Yeah.
and it's like $200 or something,
I mean,
and it's like it's high proof
Yep,
too.
and a
usually.
fancy bottle, and out of a boutique distiller.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
it could also be just it's that cheap because of what they're using to make it. I mean, it's just sugarcane.
right.
That's all it is.
Well, and it might not even be sugar. It might be
Molasses.
the
Yeah.
black strap molasses, which would be pretty easily attained. Because I mean, there's people in Minnesota, New England that are making rum. They're not growing the sugarcane up here.
No, but
they're
it's
importing that molasses.
an easy
Yeah,
export.
for cheaper than it would be to get the grain, any
Well,
other grain here.
It's actually kind of weird to think about because it's like it'd be more easy to get a local grain and transport it in, but
Yeah.
it's
It's more
not
expensive.
as cheap.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
This is not a Polynesian episode. This is a Scotch episode.
Let's keep going.
Wee Beastie is my favorite so far of the
Agreed.
other two.
What was the price
But
on that?
That's $42.99.
Okay.
Yeah, so is that, worth the extra $17 or $18?
I know you're a very, very value oriented
value
person.
proportion person.
I said it before. Well, I don't know if it was this episode or the one that we threw, but the Ardbeg 5 and the 10 had been my staple Islas that I would kind of flip flop between the two.
Yep.
And I think I've more settled towards the 10 being my personal favorite, but for the price, the 5 is not nothing to scoff at.
Yep. I have this to say. I don't think the Wee Beastie is proportionally better than the Shield Egg, but the Shield Egg just doesn't meet my minimum threshold for a Scotch I would drink neat
Okay.
on the regular. So that's my answer, is that I'll pick the Wee Beastie only because it is just good enough to be had neat in my Glencairn, as opposed to the other two are not.
Carter.
Don't look at me.
I want your input.
Yeah, please.
I got nothing to add.
Are you not a co-host
Just
on
say-
this episode?
Are
say-
you not
say-
entertained?
Here, or I agree, or
Yeah.
Dylan's thoughts.
Cha, my boy. Yeah.
Cha.
It's the
brah.
trans. We need a Carter translator, which is why we have Liquor Boy.
Shaw.
He says it's dark in here.
It says, yeah.
It's dark in here. No, it's honestly, yeah, I'd buy the Wee Beastie over both.
Over the other two.
my thoughts too.
I don't know. I just think it's
Yeah, and
really
I'm
that
hoping
good.
that we are dethroned.
I'm excited about these. Like these.
These two upcomings.
Yeah.
I want
are-
this next one.
All right,
really
this is
bad.
the one that we didn't.
get to, but we'd hinted at.
Do we hint on this
We
one?
did.
Okay. All right.
We didn't say the name.
It was
you
a-
opened the box, and then I interjected.
And I said it was a nice box, and then Dylan was like, "This is the
This box.
cheapest box you can
It's
get."
a cool box because it opens from the front instead of the top.
It's like a tissue. It's like you took the tissues out
Yeah, I know,
and
but it's
stuffed a bottle in a
Hey,
Kleenex
that's a good.
box.
That's a good idea.
it's a cheap boxed like thing of scotch, but it's got magnets in it. It's cool.
You have low standards.
Magnets.
It's called value. He's got
Oh.
all these standards.
That's
That-
true.
I mean,
Well,
it's
if you
not a
want
good box.
a value box for your valued scotch, then I guess this would fit the criteria pretty well.
Yep.
As hinted to, this is Battle Hill, which is the company name. And the theme throughout these is like they're all doing kind of like highlights of the regions. And this one is distilled at Wunahaben Distillery. This is 7 years old. It is the peated version of it, and it is a 52% alcohol.
Mhm.
Dang.
Oh, it's lower,
Yeah.
but the price is more.
Okay. Price.
Price is like
Well, then
significantly
if it's
more.
price, we should do the other one then, because that one's 45.
Oh yeah,
Do we want to stop? Should we pause this one again?
I think we should. Yeah, let's get
Okay. Almost, guys.
Let's just
Battle Hill's coming up, but not yet.
You ever been teased before that way?
I was gonna say
Twice. Okay, next is the one that I brought. While
This-
Dylan pours this, I'm gonna explain it. This is also a sorry, what was the name again of the brand, the distributor?
something Hunter.
Yep. So it's called Scarabus. Scarabus has two expressions that I know about. Yeah, Hunter Lang, the Hunter Lang group. They have two expressions. They have a regular Scarabus, and that one is, I believe, $36. And I've had that before, and I'm confident to say that this one is just the same but better, because it is the same but higher proof, 57% at $45. So, an interesting. You guys got to try it. It's weird. This is a weird one.
I know this one was another one that we're not sure the distillery. I mean, on the nose, I'm thinking Kalila.
Because that nose just does not have a lot there.
Oh, it's very spiky on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as thick.
It's subtle or smoke, more like the other Hunter Lang, the Islay Journey.
Gonna take you on a journey.
But it seems like it's got vanilla.
Yeah, a little. Yeah, I was gonna say barbecue sauce, sugar.
I could see a brown sugar.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna try
Drink
it.
it.
I like this one. This one's
So, tell me. I guess I want to hear what you guys have to say first, because I have my own opinion on this.
this is the one that I actually taste heavy cream on
Heavy
this one.
cream. Okay.
Like, not only is the body itself oily,
Yeah.
but it tastes like a heavy creamer.
Mm-hmm.
It's got that vanilla and fattiness to it that I get.
Carter,
It's
your
not
thoughts?
it's not
Sorry.
overly sweet.
Still,
He's still nosing it. Yeah.
I'm analyzing.
It doesn't have any pepperiness
Mm-mm.
like the Wee Beastie.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, right now, there's a lot going on, just like the Wee Beastie.
Yep.
And I think the way it's set up for me, and I think I'm leaning towards these set of flavors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to interject. So my thoughts were, this is super hard to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Every time I drink this, I find something new, which is great. I kind of wish I could just figure it out from the first sip. But if you have a second glass of this, it tastes different than the first. It's kind of weird. Anyway, you said it doesn't taste like peppercorn. Totally agree. But I super get jalapeno peppers. And I said that before the podcast, before we started. I need to affirm my taste buds with you guys. Because that was my outstanding flavor. Like that's the first thing I taste. This is a jalapeno pepper.
No, I understand what you're saying, and I agree with the note being a contributing factor. However, it is not for me the first, or maybe even the dominant initial taste.
Mm-hmm.
To me, there's some sort of baking sweetness,
Sure.
and I'm not sure what it is, what I'm trying to dissect, but it has a sweetness to it. Like, I don't know if I'm not sure what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You are right. It is almost, it's hard to nail down.
It's impossible. I really want to know what the, because they don't do flavor notes either. That's the other thing.
Huh.
I wish they did, because then it would give us something to work off of.
It's spicy in the mid palate for me.
Mm-hmm.
It does have a discernible spice, but it's not.
Up front, there's that baking sweetness that I'm having trouble figuring out what it is, because
it's just, to me, this is totally that. So that the thing that makes peppers hot, the vegetable, is capsaicin, right?
Capsaicin.
Capsaicin.
Yeah.
And this kind of has that capsaicin effect,
Right.
where it flares the nostrils, it inflames the nasal passages, unlike normal alcohol vapors do, which is kind of cool, actually. Like, this is something I could give someone if they had like a runny nose or a stuffy nose. I'd be like, hey, drink this. This might clear you up. Kind of like how wasabi, the same effect as wasabi. Super cool.
Just do like a shot and a half of that.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be cleared out. Dang.
But yeah, having these back to back, really difficult for me to choose the one I would choose over the other.
Yeah, I can't tell if I like pepperiness more, if I like the weirdness of the Scotch.
Yeah. Well, I know you and I were talking about the regular 46% one, and I had mentioned how much I remember enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
This is exactly what my memory was expecting.
Yeah.
The level of enjoyment from.
Yeah. It tastes identical. It's just hotter. So I don't know what they do. They just pull it. If they don't,
They probably just don't sound.
Right. So, good job, Scarabus people.
I really like it.
Yeah.
It is really good. I've never even heard of that until today.
And then if you get, this one didn't come with it. This has a super cool carton.
Dang it. I am a sucker for cool carts.
It has so I mean, if you look at the label, it's a white label with a bunch of vines crawling around.
It's very ornate.
The carton is a white cylinder with the same pattern the whole way around.
Let's go.
And it's full of like gold embellishments. And when I first bought it, or actually my dad purchased it, and we thought it said, I gotta turn the bottle so I thought it was Scribbles. When I first...
Zach, have you tried that new Scotch?
Yeah.
It's called Scribbles.
We both thought it was called Scribbles whiskey.
Well, I guess from the label
Yep.
and everything, you could get the idea that it would be Scribbles.
Yep. I mean, you could, and then until you like actually read it, and then you're like, oh, how could it be anything else except Scarabus?
I'm going to start calling it Scribbles from now on.
Yeah.
I just had a thought
Drink some Scribbles.
of what the creaminess that I was getting on here. I only remember getting that sort of creaminess from one other Islay producer, and that was actually
Bruichladdich.
no. I was going to say the Coloman.
Oh,
But but I'm not sure because I still get Kalila vibes off of it. It just has such a distinct creaminess to it that
Kalila doesn't. Kalila has way more peat than this does.
I've only had the 12-year though.
Right. Well, that's what I guess that's what I'm referencing.
Yeah.
The 12-year has way more peat than this Scarabus does, because this is the least. Well, I guess it's not the least. Before we did this podcast, I wanted to put Talisker Storm in here. It's not technically an Islay.
I said no.
It's
Good on
It's
you.
in the same close flavor profile, but the region's totally off. And I kind of want to put this in the same offshoot flavor profile.
This would totally beat,
I think this
Storm.
would beat Storm,
Storm.
out, like
Yeah.
blow it out of the water
especially at this proofing.
Sure.
for the price. I mean, it's the same price as Storm, but it's
No,
Storm is 38.
Storm's in the
Okay,
30s.
So
Yeah.
that's
That was one of the other reasons we didn't want to do Storm, because it will show up in the $40 price
true.
range.
It will.
I mean, maybe compared to the normal 46.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. This
Yeah,
one stands out to me.
I think it stands out because it's skirting the lines of the Islay flavor profile. It's kind of wanting to jump out a little bit.
What would you think it would?
Well, it wouldn't, because there's no other, because Isla's so.
Well, I mean, you have Campbelltown, I suppose.
yeah, but
I
it doesn't
feel
quite
like-
taste the same as any other Campbellton.
What do you think? It's kind of like a mixing an Islay and an island.
I just mean it's its own thing, like Talisker is. Talisker is its own thing. They got this weird thing going on up there. And they're and it's because they're trying to brand themselves that way too.
Well, I mean, you also have Highland Park, which is not necessarily near
No.
Talisker, but it is another island distillery
Yeah.
that is peated.
Yeah.
The only difference really is it's very common to find sherry finishing in their core lineup,
Sure.
whereas Talisker is not known for that. The other one is I haven't tried Aaron as much, but Aaron would be one that I would compare to Talisker more, I think, easily.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it does have some of the brininess, and I think it is closer to Islay also. But
Yeah, I haven't had an Aaron, so I can't say for sure.
well, they were really hard to find before, but now they've broke into the market, and we just haven't purchased it.
Sure.
Aaron.
All right, what do you
I got
continue on? Or?
nothing else to share, so let's continue. Let's finally get to that special
Or we just ended the episode now?
part one. End of part one.
See you later. Bye.
This is a two-parter episode, just like Spider-Man, just like Fast and Furious.
Just like any good novel.
Any good novel.
Alex Rider, Stormbreaker,
Any of the Maze Runner
Dune.
series, Dune,
Jared,
Artemis Fowl,
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith.
That one's kind of a joke in itself because the uncut, or not the uncut, but with all the deleted scenes they had in that
Is there
movie.
a director's cut of that?
No,
Is that
but,
what you're...
no, I'm just saying that there was a lot of George Lucas's headcanon of what was supposed to happen was not necessarily displayed on film. He explains in many interviews how he had all these ambitions
Yeah.
for that trilogy, and specifically the third movie,
And it just didn't really go
and it didn't
anywhere.
pan out. He felt limited. He felt held back, and there
They're
was
holding me back.
and there was so much
They're trying to
miscommunication
protect
that
me.
the whole trilogy didn't end up the way he wanted it to.
Also, it's just like the sequels.
In a similar but also not similar way.
I mean, the new sequels, not the.
Not the sequels.
You mean the what ifs?
The sequels.
Oh, I
Just
guess that
call
is the
them what
sequels
ifs?
because the other ones were the prequels.
Yeah.
I'm smart.
Anyway.
Zach
it
is
doesn't
annoyed
matter.
with my stupidity.
No, I'm not annoyed with anyone. I have no enemies.
Zach has no enemies.
Have you seen those? I have
No, I don't know what that is.
No, okay, never mind. Yeah, it's the I have no enemies meme. Essentially, it's just you let go of all aggression and aggressive bad feelings in your life, and you can finally like just be happy. So you have these people, it's like me when I finally have no enemies, and it's someone just in a field frolicking or basking in the sun, smiling.
I have no enemies.
One of my favorite movies follows
Sound of Music.
the same concept from 1993.
The Sound of Music.
Sorry, 1997. Princess Mononoke.
Oh.
The theme: to see with eyes unclouded by hate. It's deep.
It's deep.
If I ever got a tattoo, that's what I would do.
I want to get the
Mine would be
forest
swiping, no
spirit.
swiping.
I want to get the creepy forest spirit.
What? Yeah, Swiper the Fox, the creepiest board.
Yeah,
Swiper no swiping.
That creeped me out.
Yeah. Okay, please. Wait. The poor listener is like,
No,
"What is
no.
that whiskey?"
So this is Battle Hill, like we said before. It is a. I'm having trouble pronounce this now because I'm mixing it up.
Bunnahabhain?
It's the Bunnahabhain Distillery. 7 years old, 52%. It is, according to the label, 1 out of 3,000 bottles.
What?
Apparently,
That's rare.
What did he say?
It's just that set of 3,000 was replicated like 10 times.
Yeah.
So there are 10 1 of 3,000.
So there's 30,000 bottles.
well, I wonder how many barrels with that because I mean, at least over in the States, barrels you get about 200, 220 bottles per barrel. So I mean,
3,000 barrels would be 150 barrels or 130
right.
barrels.
Yeah. So that's like the batch, I guess.
Yeah.
Huh. I don't know.
Whatever. This is the best smelling one by far. So far.
So the oldest thing that we've had was Bunnahabhain. It was the Alexander Murray Bunnahabhain 28 distilled in 1988. That was high 50s, mid 50s. That one was really good.
That was super good.
Curious to see how a 7-year does.
Yeah, Bunnahabhain is so great how I think that what's that super hard to pronounce one they have?
There's a lot. A lot of them.
The one that ends, it's like Brausturter. You know what I'm talking about. Blue. It's a brown and blue label.
Yeah, that's like their sherry finished one.
Yes.
It's like the entry level.
And it's really good.
It's hard to find now too. Like all of them.
Yeah, I should have bought one. I just saw it the other day.
Oh, did you really see it the other day?
I remember the last time I bought it, it was like 40.
Yep.
It was like mid 40s, but not over like 48.
Yeah, and now it is upper 50s, lower 60s.
How much is the 12?
The 12, I didn't see the 12, so I don't know. Maybe you could look that up at the same time, Carter.
Because I mean, those used to be pretty
value oriented.
Right.
They would have been in this episode,
right?
But
circa 2001 or 2021.
Yeah, but now they're too expensive. 12 maybe.
Micker Bay. That was it. It was Bay something. It was the blue one. There's a gray one that
I guess in my mind they're it's like baby blue. It's,
I think Michter Bay. Oh, what am I thinking about? I'm so dumb. The Killoman is like Michter Bay. I don't know why I was confusing that with. I'm looking right at it. Killoman.
Yo, it looks like you can buy these online.
I'm sure you can.
That's great.
You can also get Pappies delivered to you.
Yeah.
If you're paying $3.
They're not that expensive.
I'm not paying $30 for shipping.
Steward deer.
Yes, that one.
Exactly.
Steward deer. Oh, it's right here. That's the pronunciation. The pronunciation is Stew Rodder.
I remember that being very, very good for the money.
It means helmsman in Scots Gaelic.
The memory I have on that one, I remember getting a very. It was like the finish on it and the aftertaste was if you had poured wine on a box, and then you took the box and put it in your mouth. You were getting, it was like this cardboard taste with a wine finish. It wasn't too bad. That sounds bad, but not too bad.
You guys want to spend $503 on a 98?
No, I kind of just did that on 3 bottles.
Well, that sounds like a you problem.
But we should talk about Battle Hill.
Yeah, we should.
And not Bunnahabhain.
We should.
This is my favorite smelling so far.
This is my favorite Bunnahabhain.
And it just has a super candied smell to it. I mean, the smell's like Willy Wonka. I mean,
it smells like Timothy Chalamet.
Don't try to get me off topic. There's a new Willy Wonka.
that's impossible.
That's a purpose. That was a purposeful sidetrack.
So you guys excited for the new Willy Wonka movie?
No, I'm not actually.
I think it's gonna be really bad.
It's got, this thing has, there's like a honeydew vanilla, but it's also very young. Like it tastes like, or it smells like a honeydew melon egg.
I just get straight.
Yeah, I get apple pie. This smells like apple pie to me.
I get,
it's so bready. Like it's got this,
I can see the bread.
It's got this tart, this sugary, yeasty smell.
It smells like
fresh baked
sourdough.
But it doesn't have the savory, like sour. It doesn't have the sour smell.
Yeah, sourdough necessarily isn't.
No, but it doesn't. I'm just disagreeing with you. That's all I'm saying.
No, I know.
It doesn't smell like sourdough.
I disagree.
It was more so just like the just trying to find the words.
Trying to mouth the words to disagree with you.
It's just like, I totally get that. It's like one of those days when you just can't get the words out. You're just like, why?
How can I not agree with Zach today?
Dylan's like, how could I fight?
Hey, I'd love to argue with contrarians because they're so easy to contrarianly contradict.
Yeah.
You've been contradicted.
Exactly.
I don't remember.
Dylan's like, I'm too tired for this. I just want to drink and go home.
You think we've been like, we're inebriated? We're not inebriated.
No.
We are all so sleepy.
Just really stupid.
I was going to say that talk about for a second, like we never spend this much time nosing anything, any other whiskey.
Yeah.
But Islay Scotches are just,
I really like smelling.
They are.
There's depth, and it's just the best smell.
Yeah.
Such a nice.
I mean, how many episodes have we done about bourbon where we're like, yeah, it smells like brown sugar.
It smells the same.
Caramel, butterscotch.
Maple.
We take
maple.
20 seconds to do it.
It wouldn't be
that's
maple, but it would be oak.
Yeah, oak.
No, you're completely right.
That's what I mean.
I'm gonna
all
try
smell
this.
different, and it's great. I'm gonna burn my throat again.
This doesn't even taste like ash. It tastes like coal. So you take a charcoal briquette, just place it on your tongue.
Yeah, but I like it.
It actually feels like it's leaving granules on your tongue.
Frankly, a disappointing finish. I find this to be, perhaps because we jumped down a little bit from 57 to 52. It has very little character in the end. Starts off nice and salty, charcoal, fiery, and then mellows out immediately. And doesn't have good mouthfeel. There's no oiliness to this one.
I like the mouthfeel on it.
You do?
Yeah, I feel like there's a decent amount. Not
compared to the Scarabas.
Right. But I think it is adequate and present. And for the $47, pleasing enough. What I would say, I think what we're running into is not necessarily for the money a reduction in quality, but I think this is more so the profile of Bunnahabhain just not being our go-to distillery.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That would be my thought. I think the quality here, looking at it through the lens of Bunnahabhain, I really like it.
Yep. This has the best salt note to it
Yeah.
compared to the rest.
It is kind of.
The others were salty too, but this one has a nice.
It does.
You mean salt, like handful of salt, or like salt as like brine salt?
Like a cup full of salt.
just
Like a nice little salt, like.
Look, I have a little.
I imagine. Okay, another weird comparison: Japanese cuisine.
Really?
Uni.
There's lots of different kinds of ramen in the world. Yep, one of the styles of ramen is called shio, which means salt. Shio means salted ramen. Not chi, shio. And what's cool about shio ramen is it doesn't have any, there's no soy sauce in it. It's a super clear looking broth. It's often used with chicken stock. And it has this super amazing
The white wine
aftertaste.
of ramen.
Unironically, yes. You are correct in that statement. It is a more distinguished, plain tasting ramen.
Look at this distinguished.
But the broth, it's about the broth. All I'm
Right.
saying is it has a gentle, salted, super umami flavor. It's perfect. This has the best lingering of them all. I like it.
I'm curious. So far, we haven't really been ranking them. Do we want to wait for
I mean,
our
we have.
last one?
we
We've been
one
comparing
left.
them.
Right.
Like,
we've been comparing
in my
the
mind, I have an
immediate ones.
order.
I really don't think this is worth. Not worth, but I don't think it's. We should rank them. So I don't think it's necessarily like a ranking. I think it's more of what.
Well, I guess then, I mean, you could rephrase it and say just like which ones are you going to get,
Sure.
and that's going to be a ranking too. It's basically
I guess it's the
No,
same thing.
that's exactly what that's the mission.
right.
We want the choice, the picks for the budget scotches you should buy.
I think the people that are actually listening to us want our opinion on what our favorites are.
Yeah, the one you
out of
want.
the
Yeah,
lineup.
I don't think we need to score them.
No.
Right.
We need to pick some though.
Agreed.
So let's finish and we'll do it.
So we'll do the do
Yeah.
the last one, and then we'll do it. All right.
Mhm.
That's cool.
Or like, yeah.
Well, I don't want to skip over if we had any final thoughts on this or
No,
summing up.
I have turned on to this as I continue to drink it. The past three, the Ardbeg, the Scarabus, and the Battle Hill, have all entertained three different Scotch profiles
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
or Islay Scotch profiles that I enjoy.
I was super pleased by that.
And I would currently purchase each of these for different reasons.
To me, it's a little funny that Islay only has, I think it's 8 now distilleries. And then you look at like Speyside, it's got
All of them.
so many. But Speyside to me is like probably the closest knit flavor profile between distilleries.
Mm-hmm.
Ignoring maybe like cask finishing and stuff.
Sure.
But like I feel like the ex-bourbon ones, they all have probably the closest similarity in flavors to one another. And then you get to Islay, which is a smaller area, and I think to us, they have some of the most diverse profiles flavor-wise out of any of the other regions.
Mm-hmm. But I'd be curious to give someone who's never had Islay Scotch, let's just say future tense, we give them three of our favorites, and they'd probably say it tastes very much the same.
No,
too.
and I don't
Yeah.
disagree with that. I guess my thought is just like being a let's call it advanced amateur, being able to pick it out. If you get to the point where you can pick stuff out,
Yeah.
like even we have the ability to pick out the differences in this lineup.
Yep.
But then I still think that the Speyside category has the most similar
Mm-hmm.
whiskeys out of any other region.
Yeah.
There's different ones. There's ones that taste
Yeah.
different, but I think there's just most of them. It has the highest concentration of ones that taste the same.
Yeah.
It's the bourbon of Scotch.
No, I just think if we talk to someone whose Speyside was their favorite region, they could enlighten us in the same way that we think about the Islas. Because
Right.
I think just quite literally our taste bud genetics, we can't pick out the same flavor profiles that these other people are picking out in these Spaysides. I do agree that they're all there's so many. How could they not be somewhat similar to each other?
So would you think that like the percent, if it's a percentage of difference, do you think that would just be a lot closer of a percentage, or do you just think that we're not?
No, I think we are the problem.
Okay.
If we talk to a group of people and they all thought Speyside was great and they could tell the differences between, all I'm saying is we have an inability. We can't. We like this so much, and we don't like Speysides as much because we're just not on that level.
Right.
We don't like those flavors that they offer.
Yeah, I can't disagree with it. I mean, I don't know.
That's just what I think, because
right. There's no way to prove it.
Because there's so many people that don't like Islays.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's so obvious. They're so good. Like, they're so different. But you give it to them, and they're like, this tastes like smoke. This tastes like rubber. Well, it's like, but dig in. They can't. They can't.
No, I completely agree that I mean, there is a massive wall to get through in overcoming that flavor that Islay has, because I totally understand it's either a love it or you hate it.
Gotta peel back the onion.
It is not a it's a brash flavor. That's not, I mean, when you look at it on the surface, it's smoke, ashy, salty, brine, like almost like a sea vegetation. There's
cigarettes.
I mean,
I told you guys you like cigarettes.
It is
there's not really anything on the surface that you should enjoy, almost. Like maybe the like there's certain things.
In layman's terms, it should not be something you like. It just sounds gross.
Yeah. I mean, I completely understand people that do not like it, because it makes sense why you don't. I don't know. Well, I think we should probably get to this last one. Do you want to introduce this one, since this is your entry?
Well, he just said the wrong name.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He does. I mean, I don't think Dylan said the right name for a pair of siblings.
No,
Ever.
Yeah.
Like, he's messed up every group of siblings you can think of. He has interchanged their names. At least once.
It doesn't help that it's CNC.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
So we got I don't even remember what I bought.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Kiloman.
I know it's Coloman. I just more so meant like what the actual thing is.
I'll take it.
Yeah, let me see Bado, please.
You want me to?
I want Baba.
Do you want me to pour it?
1 second. Okay, so we got the Coloman Mashir Bay.
Mictor.
Machir.
I don't think it's Mictor.
Let me see.
But I'm not sure on the exact pronunciation.
Oh yeah, I would say it's Mahir.
Mahir?
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Let's go with that. Yeah. That's all I know.
Cool.
I'm sorry.
How much did you spend on it?
$60.
I'm gonna look at the total price, because I don't want to make you feel bad. But
I don't care. Make me feel bad.
And also everything else has been purchased from Total, so
this was the only bottle
sense.
that wasn't from a
we'll compare it
box
that way.
store.
Because what if this is only 40 at 40 at Total?
$25. No.
Yeah, right.
Dang it! I don't think the Coloman is
Oh, it's Coloman. That's what it is.
that much cheaper there, if I remember correctly, from when I saw it last. But I mean, of course, it's going to be cheaper at a bigger box store than it would be at a smaller local
boutique liquor store.
Yeah, local distillery liquor store.
Total only has one, and it's like $103, so it's not even the right one.
I will say it. I do like their bottles. Got a nice bottle. Nice round bottle. Nice chunky base.
Chunk.
Got a nice chunk. I will say I'm interested to see what we.
How much did you spend on it?
60.
$65 total.
Okay.
Actually,
it was priced at $59.99.
Budget entry.
So it was 60.
Okay.
I personally,
are you? Let's pour it. Argue your point. I'm curious what your point is.
Okay.
This has really.
Oh, I see. It's $60 because it has an NFC tag enabled.
Oh shoot! No. So my whole thing is, yes, there are cheaper Islas, as we've discovered My thing is that now I would consider this more of something that I would buy and I would sip just because of what I'm used to as like Scotch drinker, that kind of stuff. That's really my only basis behind it, is that this is more so what I would deem. Granted, I mean, there's plenty of great things that are under this price.
This is kind of like E.H. Taylor equivalent.
Yeah, where yes, it's a little bit more expensive, but I know I'm getting a really, really good product, and it's going to be really nice.
So me playing devil's advocate, I guess my counter argument was like, well, you could just go out and buy anything nice and say the exact same thing about that.
True.
You know, it's like,
but I'm not going to go out and spend.
I bought Ardbeg Corey Reckon, which is $72, or Ugadal, and I justified it because I know it's really good and I enjoy it.
Which is a valid argument. It also didn't help that the store I went to didn't have a very large selection, and I think Dylan was trying to...
I'm just picking on you.
No, I know, but I'm just saying...
Have you guys smelled this yet?
Just briefly.
Incredible. This is...
Well, so what's the price jump? What was the most expensive thing? Was it the Battle Hill?
Yeah,
the Battle Hill is $47.
So we've jumped $20.
Well, it was $59.99. So yeah.
Okay, so the total wine was $65.
$13.
So it's, whatever.
$15 to $20 more expensive.
Oh my God.
This smells like a field of flowers. Like it's a bouquet mixed with heaven.
You got to smell it with your mouth open a little bit and get that alcohol vapor in there. Oh,
it has the creaminess that I was referring to on one of the past ones. That this was the only other one that I've really countered this level of actual creaminess to it, and not just like the mouthfeel.
I can't get enough. Honestly, I want this turned into something I can inject into my veins, or more realistically, I want a candle of something like this.
Yeah. Zach wants like a diffuser of cologne.
Yeah, well,
he wants the smell of cigarette smoke and a candle. And
this is how body wash / soap should smell. Every soap in the world should smell like this. Specifically this one. Seriously, it's so fragrant and nice.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like most people, this is the point where they would be coming home and be like, boy, I need to shower.
Like, man, I reek.
Yeah, like I smell bad. And you're like, you
put that on your body.
I love the way you smell. How do I get that? Where do you work? What do you do?
He wants distilled BO.
Distilled BO.
It doesn't smell like BO. It's just...
Maybe it's my progress, but yeah. I seriously think this has no bad notes to it.
No, I agree. Definitely. It's just funny the explanation of it. No, I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah, it's a little savory, salty on the note, but
bit.
I get way more floral and like light nuts, like a nice cashew or something.
Have you ever had someone smell like butter popcorn?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's such a weird.
Yeah.
After
the movies. You just
no, I mean like stank.
Yeah, like they haven't seen a movie theater in weeks,
or have been in a movie theater.
But they smell
for
like
weeks.
buttered popcorn.
It's weird. I've had that sensation before.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'm not
saying I smell
along
that.
with that.
I'm not saying I smell.
Oh,
that.
you're just asking.
That popped in my head.
Sure.
This body isn't as thick. It runs down the glass pretty quickly.
So we have dropped down. We're back down to 46.
Yeah, it's not as high proof,
which is fine.
I'm so ready to drink this.
All right, okay, let's take it. Oh wait, we should scan the NFC.
Wow.
Oh, it tastes completely different than it smells.
I think we should have done alcohol content. But you know what? That's part of the value proposition, I suppose, for the other ones.
It's true. It really is.
Drunk for your buck.
Well, no, just like the mouthfeel on it. Like the alcohol is playing so much role in the mouthfeel. That's just like we can't. There's other avenues other than price playing into the verdict.
No, definitely. I think that some of the other ones had way better mouthfeel.
I really like the flavors of this. It's a little bit sweeter.
Yeah,
it is a little sweeter.
That's weird.
Which I was not expecting.
It's like a stone fruit.
But you know what? It's not.
Not amazing.
I like it, but it's not leaning towards my favorite.
It's because this doesn't have very much, doesn't complement itself. It's too much different flavors going on at once.
It is.
It's too complex.
It's too complex.
It's too complex.
It's like you could pick out like 1 or 2 flavors, and then you're like, okay, cool, that's what I taste. And then you take another sip, and you're like, I gotta pick out these flavors now. It's never like all one cohesive thing.
It is.
Kind of tastes like smoky Coke.
I can see a cola. Yeah, it's a cola vibe. This is not tasting great. It's really missing. Yeah, maybe it's just because we went down in proof, but it's missing that nice oily composition.
Yeah, it does not stick on the mouth or the tongue or anything.
Yeah, it retreats. It retreats too fast.
I don't know why I'm having trouble trying to really come up with a cohesive thought about it.
I get a little bit of jerky.
Yeah.
And a little bit, because it's got that
like sweet
it's
jerky.
A marination.
Yeah.
It's got a marinated flavor. And yeah, it still has that really nice, sweet, floral flavor. Like it tastes how it smells.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not how I want this to taste when the main flavor is salt and meat. It really should have doubled down on its gentle qualities.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, this is the only edition of Killoman that I've had, because this is their entry at $60 to $65.
Yeah.
And everything else is above that.
Yeah.
Like most of their stuff, their range is like in the 100s.
Sure.
Yeah, it's
and
all pretty expensive.
For this to be the entry, it really has got to be kind of something.
It better be pretty dang good.
Well, and that's what I mean. It's like I'm not getting any incentive to get the upper tier bottles at this point.
Exactly.
Because it's like usually like if you go to what can I speak? Ardbeg 10, like it is a nice place to be, and it makes you it invites you into the other ranges.
Mm-hmm.
This one's not doing that.
Yeah.
This one is like there's something missing about it. There's just not a, I don't want to say character because it doesn't really point out the feeling I'm getting towards it.
Sure.
But it's just like there's something missing, and I've never pulled the trigger on any of the other lines they have. Partly because I just haven't been impressed about their entry.
Sure. It's hard to spend more than $100 on something that you just don't know.
Right.
It's going to be something you like.
I would like to try something of more of the upper tier.
Well, and that's the problem. You're spending $130.
No, I mean more of like at a bar, at a restaurant.
Sure.
Something that I could, give it a little test run. Sure, it might be a little bit more expensive, but it's like could be worth it in the end. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where it's like you kind of give it that chance, and then it's like, oh, this is exceeded my expectations, or it's like, oh, it's not as good as I thought. Now I don't have to go and spend that extra, $160 to get the next tier of.
I haven't seen Killoman on sample anywhere.
That is true. You don't see it anymore.
I think the only place you'd be able to do it would be Whiskey Inferno in our area.
Mm-hmm.
You would have to go to a very specific whiskey bar to get something like this.
Yeah, no, I think it's like even like mid tier and slightly upper tier. It's not a common Scotch.
It's really not.
But I mean that's our list.
No,
that's what we got.
I'm happy to say that some of the other options are ones I'd pick over this.
Oh yeah,
so
for sure.
Yeah, it's nice to know that it's just not scaling up and up and up and up and up. The more you pay, the better you get.
It's not linear the quality.
Yeah,
I'm actually like rather happy that I bought this because it really did make the others stand out.
And I don't think it's like it doesn't feel like, oh man, it's like I took a misstep and I shouldn't have got this thing. I don't feel that way about it as far as the flavor. It just doesn't. It's like it's not going to get me to purchase a second bottle.
No, definitely not. Like I think it tastes nice and it's got an interesting flavor to it, but it's definitely not something that I would be like, I'm going to buy another bottle because it really drew me in.
Let's put them in order, I guess. After we kind of give our thoughts.
Yeah,
if we have already, I guess.
No, I got nothing to add. I want the Killoman as a smell, as a candle.
That's a really
And
good
if
smell.
they sold that as a candle, I'd buy that.
Zach would go ham on a
I'd
candle.
go ham on that.
He would tear it up live.
Tear it up live.
And I really think I was very impressed by the Scarabus. Like that was
You know, before you say that, let's just rank them. Should we start at the bottom or start at the top?
You do you.
All right,
well, are we gonna
bottom.
do you think we should do a group? Because I mean we're technically doing it as a, or would you want to do individual? I don't care. I'm just saying it's
Okay, we
more-
can discuss them. Yeah, a little more. And say how we.
What do you think, Dylan?
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. Why don't you go ahead so we know what you're talking about?
I mean more so as like, because the question that was raised, I feel like it was more of a general podcast everybody question. So like what do the three of us think would be a good
Recommendation.
recommendation?
So you want top,
Exactly.
we do like top 3?
Yeah, I say we do top 3. I
And
think
should
that's
we-
a good
Should we
idea.
agree on them?
Yeah,
A little group think here.
I think we should have a little group
Okay,
thing.
what's
We
the
don't do a
third?
lot of group thing.
What's the third? Or maybe what's easiest? Easiest would be what's best? What's best? What's
What's best?
What's the number one best budget whiskey?
Well, I think definitely in the list for the price,
hmm
that Shield Egg. I mean, it's got to be in there. I think at some point. Like
I just disagree because I would just never, I would never buy it, even though I love the idea of value, money value, and that is the best value,
Uh-huh.
hands down. It's not the one I would buy.
I don't think I would be inclined to buy it.
Yeah.
Is my problem too. I
Okay.
think it tasted good, but I just don't think I would be inclined to buy it.
my thought is, if somebody's asking me budget Isla,
hmm
I gotta tell them like you might not like this.
Sure.
You're only going to be out $25. You got to give it a shot because the possibility of them coming away like, oh, I like this. This is really like,
Mhm.
this is good.
yeah.
The aspect that they could continue to buy that for $25
Yeah.
and be whelmed, we'll call it.
hmm
I guess that isn't appealing if
You
you,
know,
if you think about it.
I know you bring up great points. I agree totally. It's still not the one that in this list I would say you should try though.
Okay.
Like I think for me, if I was gonna tell someone you just gotta try this one, it'd actually be the regular proof version of Scarabus. But in this,
I feel like he does that every time.
Right.
It's like,
it's not in this list. But in this list,
It's the Scarabus.
no, it's the Battle Hill.
okay.
Really?
I think
As
if-
number one?
he has number one. I'd say like, hey, you just need a budget. You need a budget Isla. And yes, it was up there. It's, $47. That's the one you got to try because I think that is the best gateway into everything else.
Okay.
I really think that.
I think it does have those base Isla flavors that aren't too offensive. Because I think if you started with the Wee Beastie, you might get kind of turned off by some of the like more harsher flavors that it has. But yeah, that Battle Hill does really have some nice balanced flavors. It's not too harsh, but like just harsh enough where you're like, "Ooh, this is kind of interesting."
Yep. I choose it because it was the best flavor to walk away with. That left the best aftertaste in my mouth. If I had that for the first time at someone's bar, in their house, or at the bar, or what at a party, I'd be like, wait, like my mouth would. I still taste that saltiness. I remember that
Yeah.
flavor.
It was very
it's
nice.
very
salty.
distinct.
It lingers forever.
What do you think, Dylan? You
I mean, I think the one that is absolutely out to my mind
I think-
is the Isla Journey
Yeah.
yeah,
for 34.
Yeah. No.
It's
No.
it's
It
not
didn't
a
excel.
contender.
It didn't excel in anything.
it was nothing special.
I'm willing to say the Shield Egg is the number one. I don't agree, but if we want to all be a group here, I totally understand the logic behind that, and I am behind that.
I do. I
Decision.
completely understand the decision
I-
to make that number one. It makes complete sense.
So my personal favorites would definitely be the Battle Hill, the Scarabus, whatever, and the Wee Beastie. Like those three,
hmm
perfect. Like
But-
like the value on those alone, really good. I just think that while I probably would not.
We can't really think of it from our point of view. We have to think of it from somebody who's buying a budget Islay Scotch. And yes, if that's what we're thinking of, the Shield Egg would definitely come first.
Yeah.
Definitely would come first.
It would be a strong recommendation of mine.
Yeah.
Especially if the question is oriented budget Islay.
How cheap can I get this and it still tastes good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I definitely agree with that.
Here.
So what?
Much as I lament that.
So
it's true.
Shield Egg.
I think the next one would be the Wee Beastie.
You think it would be Wee Beastie?
Yeah.
At, what was it, 40?
That was $43.
43?
42 or 43. I don't quite remember.
Okay.
I would agree. I mean, it's a lower alcohol proof. The alcohol might be a turnoff for the other.
But it's just because Ardbeg has such a huge lineup that one introduces itself to
so much more.
Well, and honestly, the other possibility is like Shield Egg is a total brand.
Yeah.
The Ardbeg Wee Beastie is going to be the most common out of the selection to be able to find.
Yep.
True.
So for that point, I think it's a great contender for number 2.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The availability.
Especially, with the wide variety of the other products that they sell.
Yep.
And the availability. That I agree. It's good.
It's a gateway drug into the Ardbeg cult.
It
really is a gateway
Yeah.
cult into the Ardbeg. Gateway drug.
Yep.
Into
And then number
gateway cult.
Gateway cult. Cult into cults. Number 3. I mean, for me, it's a toss-up between the Battle Hill and the Scarabus, but I already said I love what the Battle Hill's doing. I mean, I love how it's age stated, right? 7 years from this distillery.
3,000 bottles.
Like, tell me what this freaking is. Scarabus, however good it is, I don't know what that is.
It's something weird.
It's so, and it doesn't linger, like I already said.
The Scarabus?
The Scarabus doesn't linger as long. I don't remember. I need to have the Scarabus again to remind myself, oh, that's right. That's what it tastes like.
Yeah.
If I can tell someone exactly how Battle Hill tastes.
That is
and maybe
actually
they don't care about that, but I can. It's so memorable.
Well, and honestly, you know what it is too.
Yeah.
So like we were talking like, oh man, it's hard to get Bunnahabhains for
cheap.
Right. 42%, 7 years age stated. Bunnahabhain, $46.
Yeah.
Like this is the cheapest entry Bunnahabhain you can get now.
Yeah.
And I don't the problem is I don't know how available it is.
Right.
I've never
Is
seen
it
it
actually
before.
3,000 bottles?
Probably
Do we have one of the rarest bottles we've ever had?
Oh my god, it's $42 and it's like the rarest one. And we opened it.
I'll find out the secondary on it is like $400.
Uh-huh.
Let's look it up.
But I mean there's something to be said about being able to know what is in your bottle. I mean, look how clear it is. They're not putting coloring in that.
Mm-mm.
It's as genuine as you can get almost.
Yeah. No, it's solid. That is a tried and true heritage Scotch right there. Full of history.
It's got kilts. And Carter would say it has a box.
It's got a front opening box.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun. With magnets.
I don't have anything else to say.
Yeah, so it's Shield Egg, Wee Beastie, Battle Hill.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. I think that's going to do it.
That's great. That's
All
so
right.
great that we're done.
Please give us a like and a follow on wherever you get your podcast. Follow us on Instagram, Whiskey House Pub House. And if you got any suggestions, like this episode we got, maybe we'll do it one day and, send us an Instagram message. Thanks for listening. Join us again on a future episode of the Whiskey House Pub House.